Allah, yes. hmm In the holy name of Allah. We open this divine study not to be taught. We open divine study for remembrance. Our divine subject matter is you was free at the beginning. Free at the beginning. Nature is Allah. All are Allah. Was Allah and is Allah. This is what the remembrance is. We're going to begin at the material. Nature is Allah. This is natural by birth. This is what is called divine by nature. Now, this is the natural part of your divinity. So, this is the creation part of your nature. Why you have a nature is because nature is Allah. Now, since you came into birth, especially if you came to be a newborn child anytime after 1776. If you was born anytime after 1776, it was a plan and it was the great deal. And it was to make you forget all that was just said. So true. All to help you forget who you are. Beautiful. So again, this is only for remembrance of who you are. Because born in a society that goal and only objective is to help you forget. So this is why you must remember. This is what's called the first death. You should be in remembrance of something called the second death. So before we get to two, it's a must we start at the first, right? Automatically. So you tell me any person who could deny this as their beginning. This is what it means to be born by nature. You may have heard it now in a convoluted form in a false word called sex. But sex is the derogatory term to describe something holy. Beautiful. And divine. All this is divine by nature. But when you came out, there was a swarm helping you to forget who you are. So before you was given a name on the outside, you were. So the name you was given is what begins the birth of creation. So you can put your name right here above where you see sperm cells. Put your name right there. That's you. This is the first beginning of you becoming to manifest on the plane of things made flesh. This beginning holds all of creation. This is what was called the sun. And then after 1776, it got converted to the Son of God. This beginning is your beginning of coming into the physical form. Now we're going to go up the ladder, but we had to start from the bottom so we can get a clear understanding with proof as your own self-evidence. This is before a book. This is before you could read. You was divine before you could read. You had intelligence before you could read. And in fact, this is why you can read. Because you are from intelligence. This sperm cell, what they call in science, is intelligence. This sperm cell would be called a mind. And this is the beginnings of you knowing who you are. See, before you became a mind, you existed. The mind was in the first with the first. So anything come out of the first, the mind comes with it. So when things manifest, this is coming from the mind. So if you are manifested, as you can hear, then that means you was a mind manifested into the flesh. This is where your intelligence comes from. This is what you feel when you say, I feel. That is called the sperm cell. This is where you get all your feelings from. If you didn't have sperm, you wouldn't feel. The reason why you know the best feeling is because it is the bliss. This is the bliss. And this bliss was born out. So as you see, it has structure. It has a head and it has a spine. Same thing in your construct today. As you are manifested as arm, leg, arm, head. This is why you stand upright. Everything that is born from sperm. So everything you see in life was born from sperm. The reason why everything doesn't look the same, because everything doesn't hold the same sperm. The plant has its sperm. The earth has its sperm. The animal has their sperm. And the humans have their sperm. Everything you see from the 7 living life forms was born from a certain class of sperm. So a human sperm cell could never be a dog because a dog is a sperm cell. A dog sperm cell. A human can never be a plant because a human doesn't have and is not a plant cell. It is a human cell. So when you hear in science, the cells of the body, those are the sperms. And as we grow, this is what becomes your spine. As we hit home as the sperm who gets the egg, this is called the second death. This is how everything comes to life. The sperm, with its intelligence, finds its equal or its twin half, the egg. It's what we call egg head. The head that got the egg. So the sperm cells finds the ovum. So in form, this is where you get in geometry your line. So anything dealing with a core is mimicking the sex, divinity of nature. Anything you plug in is representing divinity self. This is how you as self come to be. So this is what true self is, or true sex is. Or let's say a golf ball going into the hole. It's what everything sports is all related to divinity by nature. So within the structure of the female egg, this is what is called the second depth. And this is, if you're familiar in literacy, where it speaks about the second death being like hellfire. That hellfire is the menstrual blood. So after there's a process of when the sperm gets the egg, and the river of the Red Sea splits. And this splitting of the Red Sea is to eventually form the human anatomy. This is what is called Allah made flesh. This is what they took from us and replaced Allah with God. And then eventually push God into Christ. When Christ is a derogatized word for who you are. So let's just say back in the days, Christ was a sign of your coming into flesh. But now it's derogatized to mean the death of the spirit by the flesh. So that's what religions have been promoting to keep the power away from you, is by knowing this biophysics. Because anybody you encounter didn't make you. You are self-created from the sperm cell. And we're going to rise it up. We got to the egg, the second death. That's when all your trimesters begin. So you being in what is called school or a semester. So this is why it's called the trimester, because of the three that holds within the egg to produce the three planes of your human anatomy.
Yeah.
That's why you have a lower, a middle, and an upper. All this correlates with your spine. So the spirits or the sperms that didn't get the egg, they became your spine. The sperm that got the egg became who you are in existence. All the sperms that became the spine wanted that position you are in right now, existing. You have existence. And when you are the one who gets the egg, you have control over the spirits of self, the mind of self, the physical flesh of self. And this is the greatest gift you knew before being born. But after being born in this society, it's now you've been born in something called a sin. And that's where things get very, very creepy for those who fall into the trap. Give me 1 minute. See if I can go out. So this is how you became a manifested on the plane of flesh. It took 3 deaths just to get to the plane of things made flesh. So this is the remembrance. This is what's called on this side the 3 rebirths. So in order to understand the 3 rebirths, we got to put it in reverse. Now I got to show you before you was a sperm, who you was and who you are still remains who you is today. Can't nobody change this descendant nature from divine, but they can make you forget on this side. That's why you always told about something else and never told about you yourself. How you came in this world, what you was made of. These are the very much things of why you exist. But society has created on every angle obstacles. So we know that the flesh is made up of the mind, the sperm cell. The mind gets the body from the egg cell. The mind joins the egg cell and it creates the flesh. The flesh is made up of mind. Now, where did mine come from? Where did the sperm come from that came out of the father? Now, we got to take the reverse approach. This method will be called the top down. So for relativity, we just started from the bottom up. Where there's no confusion, we begin with all equality. We all manifested in life the same way. But how we manifest it is what we need to remember. And this is what society don't want you to remember. So they created every glue, gorilla glue, jam glue, everything they could to stick you away and avoid you from knowing who you are. Now we're going to understand why we've been going over what I call the land. In science called the thalamus. This is how the sperm was created. You see this little orange looking color on the screen. That is centering what is called the opening. That place where orange is, before it became orange, is clear and transparent. This is how you get back to your purity. And this is how you cure all diseases. All diseases, when it comes to body function, all stems from understanding the lamb, the thalamus. Why is the thalamus important? Because this is called the opening. Our ancestors called this Al-Fatiha. This is what Jesus was reporting when he said the statement, I and my Father are one. But instead of orange, he had clear. Orange or any color is an indication of manifestation. So when the sperm enters the thalamus, when the sperm enters the thalamus, this is where conception begins. Now, I need us to understand, right now, we're not into the knowledge of self yet. We are in reverse, working our way up to the knowledge of self. Right now, we are working with the knowledge of flesh. How the self became flesh. So how the self became flesh is through the same picture you're seeing right here. This is where the sperm conceived in the mind of your father. And from this conception of the mind of the father, this is how you come into reality. As you see, I scroll down, it has a tube-like channel. So they, and in science, they call this substance that comes to be yourself, they call it semen. Our ancestors called it all Sufian. So the understanding of how the Al Sufian, the semen, made itself manifest through the sperm cell. The sperm cell is the self that manifests into flesh. This is all of life. This is how all of life operates. And all life is what is called thought activity. So semen is actually a thought manifested from the mind of Allah. So let me go back to the sperm cell. So when you see this sperm cell, this is a thought. So as a flesh, your flesh is a thought. But also, since your flesh and thought, within the flesh, thoughts can enter. These thoughts all manifest in the land before even becoming thought out, to start thinking, before to even start feeling, to even be energetically emotionalized. These things occur because of this happening first. This is the ultimate cause and the cause of all activity. Something conceiving in someone's mind. This is how we're getting above the mind now and understanding where the mind came from. The mind is conceived just like a woman conceives a child. Your mind acts just as a woman's womb. So it births, conceives, birth. And this is how we get all life activity. Now, the reason this is so important is because life activity is not the self. So all thoughts are not your thoughts. All emotions are not your emotions. Your feelings. This is how things become personal. But this is the part that confuses people. This is why people get confused. Because what comes in the mind, if you don't have knowledge of self, then what comes in the mind, you're going to identify as yourself. And this is why they don't tell you who you are. Because then you will know the difference between a thought and self. Self, we're working our way, is not the mind, but gave birth to the mind. And this is why the mind is higher than the flesh. So prior to conceiving any thought, and more importantly, because thought, let me be clear, is when it comes out of the mind. A thought couldn't, like I said, could not be you. But an idea comes from your own I. This is the difference between receiving thoughts and having your own idea. This is why they don't want you to have knowledge of self, because you will know if it's your idea. And this is why they washed everything up and lumped it all together and called it the mind. But we're separating everything and putting it into its proper place. The flesh has its place. The mind within has its place. And these are both created things. And so we know there's a distinction between the creator and the created. So the same place that a thought is conceived, an idea is conceived, is the same place the creator is. Before anything is conceived, the creator is present as transparent clarity, clearness, not a thought, not an idea, not any form of life. Now we're getting into what is called the spirit. This is where the mind comes from. It comes from the creator. The creator is what creates in the lamb or the thalamus. Prior to creation is just the creator in that same place. This is what's called the place of God. But God is different than the creator. The creator is what creates the idea, is the beginning of one having an idea. You have to create your own idea, but you can receive a thought from outside of yourself and then identify it as your idea, but this is how you confuse yourself.
When that what you just said about idea, if you don't know yourself, it's easily for someone else idea. This is what you creep in on it and get in your head, because see, we did it. He knows, the enemy knows. If you don't know, that's why we got to be nothing. But anyway, if I can clearly see as you teach what happened to us. 1776, you couldn't know better. And that idea started back then, called Constitution. Somebody else's.
Somebody else.
And you know, we often mentioned uh, who ancestors we are. We the offspring of these ancestors. So, and we do know that 1776, that Constitution, they had nothing to do with our ancestors.
That's right. Our ancestral constitution was the all Sufian.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Literally, you are this. It's written in your heart, as it was said before.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about. The three levels. When they rewrote it, they called it Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors called it Torah, the Ta'ara. This is talking about the trimester. How everything in life comes from the Ta'ara. This is what we call thought in ancient times, the Ta'ara. And we knew thought had followed law. And any action from thought follows law. But this is what all of their works was doing to oppress us into forgetting. And then when we do come up of age, all we do remember is ignorance.
That's correct. And right way.
And this is how they have expanded their kingdom.
Yes, sir.
Through us remembering ignorance. But now we pressing rewind on the VCR and we going back to the beginning.
Yes,
before you was contaminated, before you were told others thoughts and this is that and that is this. So this process with the orange on it reflects life and life activity of what's happening in one's mind. That orange could be blue, that orange could be red, that orange could be any color of the rainbow. This is why people do what they do, choose the colors they choose, dress how they dress, things of that nature. It's not for you to know, it's for you to understand your own self. That you have that ability of having an idea. And this is what is bringing something new into the world. What we've been dealing with since 1776 is old hand-me-down thoughts from barbaric cultures we deemed pagans. Because now we see why. Look at the thoughts they harbor that they have shared. When thoughts are not even real. Thoughts come with life. Self is greater than a thought. But they didn't teach us knowledge of self. So all people is doing is going circling around thoughts. So hopefully this free one's spirit, mind, and body. To the ultimate where we getting to. This is what life is, something and everything in relation. You to something in relation to everything. Now before you was something, you was no thing. And this is what's called the circle of Willis. This is the whole imagery of how you became to have an image. It's like a little tracing board that's internally in your system. And this is how thoughts, words, deeds all become actions in life. This is coming from the knowledge of self now. The knowledge of self deals with your will. The will is spiritual. And it created the mind and body. So this is where you, yourself, is. This is what's behind the thalamus without anything being created. This is called no thing. Just like this opening, it doesn't have anything in this opening. That which is that has the opening is where you are right now. And everything that is happening comes through this circle within a circle within a circle. This is called your will. Your will have power over your mind, your flesh, and can reconnect it to the final rebirth where you all for the flesh and then you unlearn it all to reach no thing. And now you can cross the borderlands or boundaries at will. So this is the nothing that you realize when the mind and the body has to go to sleep. This is why yourself is greater than your mind and your body. Your mind and your body has to obey yourself because it's so powerful that the mind and the body has to find what is called rest, which is self. So when mind and body collapse, called sleep, this is when you receive knowledge of self. But you didn't know that because you have been not taught knowledge of self. So you think the waking life is yourself. And everything you do in the waking life is yourself. Yourself is beyond the waking life. Just like yourself is beyond the dream. These are two facets of your will. If you knew what I was saying, and if you take serious into what I'm saying, then you don't have to just understand one side of the coin. So before there's a dream, before there's a wake, this is where these things are coming from. It is coming from out of the will of self. And this is what is called nothing or non-dual. There's no fight here, just like there's no fight in sleep. There's nothing but like sleep or rest. Rest and sleep is supposed to be like when you awake and dream. It's supposed to be so peaceful. like it's rest. This is what is called paradise. So this is how we get into the realm of spirit, where spirit joins these things called the dream realm, or these things called the life realm. Self being eternal, that's why you find yourself sometimes in dream, sometimes in awake. And you move and be in those worlds because you are Allah. This what they don't want you to remember who you are. So when in remembrance, our ancestors gave us words of remembrance. I, self, Lord, am master of arm, leg, arm, head. This is what's called his lamb, Allah. This is you. Talking about you. Creating yourself out of nothing. So everybody's goal was to get you distracted from nothing. So if they can get you distracted from nothing, now you're going to need something. And in something, everything exists as well. So you'll spend most of your life looking for something as if self is missing. So they built this whole empire of spiritual seeking, that you are seeking for God. This is very, we can laugh, love, laugh, and release after all of this. They want us to seek after God. Now listen to the signs we just gave.
Yeah.
Now to seek after God, would you ever find God?
He already present.
He already you.
Already present. Got you.
This was the whole distraction.
Yeah, you got to look at
We go back to soul.
I was just thinking about when you were saying about rest and sleep. And then when I think about that, at that point of life, as the heart still beating and the lungs still breathing, and then when I think about, and then how peaceful that is right there. But then when I think about the awakening after you come out of this plane into the waking plane, and if you ain't conscious into the awakening plane, this is where all the devastating and all the trouble lies at. I get it.
We'll find out. All the suffering,
that's right,
and pain is in life.
That's right.
Not the self.
That's right. And all that center around somebody else's ideal of yours.
See, and this is how they got the seeking part, because now you will think you need to fix something. So you'll live your life living.
That's right.
To be fixing.
Yeah.
And this is how they confuse self with life. See, life without self is living. If you just sit still 7 days,
yeah,
don't move, you will see that life moves. You don't have to do nothing. Life will come to you and life will leave from you. Showing you that you not life, you something that life is attracted to and life repels from. This is the confusion. Life take care of itself if we slow down and understand.
That's right.
Man ain't changing winter into spring. Life is taking care of itself.
Yes.
But with the ideology of that you're seeking for God, now this is the confusion part. Now what's living? Now are you supposed to be living life, or are you supposed to be living self? Because a lot of people doing a lot of things they do not want to be doing. So if you're doing things that you do not want to be doing, that means you're not living for self. You just living in the life. And life is going to come and go. So you're going to think that you pass and die. So all your life, you jumping in life trying to live when self is eternal.
Yeah.
Life is temporary, like a thought.
Yeah.
You have a thought one moment, then the thought dissolves.
That's right.
This is how life is. Life comes with a problem. You fix the problem, it's gone. Life don't have a problem. It's the minds of the people that think life has a problem. Life is living. Its purpose is to live, to keep everything in a circular constant. If you understand life or not, life got to keep living. Or it's sort of like when you sit and you down and life is keep going. Nobody else ain't sit, but you sit. See, that's self engulfed in life. Self's supposed to never get sick. Self is in life, but not of life. Self is greater than life. It can come into life and it can go out the life, just like dreaming, awake, and sleep. You can come into life and you can also leave life. It's how great self is. To take this away, they needed us to forget who we are. So they need to put the very first task of seeking God will be you born in sin. So we're going to bring the Holy Sufian to reinstate your beginning as a birth. This is what is called all fitra. All fitra. This is where you get the word aware from and the word Musa. So why Musa, the man, the prophet, was Musa is because of this knowing, this knowledge he had was called the all fitra. These just one of your gifts out of the 144 you was not told of. They told you you got to go and search it out. 144,000. See, this is where all the confusion is. You are the 144. Born into life, called the tree of life. So this is your 75th name. So you just don't got the name society calls you. You got that's the illusion name. That's the artificial name. That's the straw man. Who you really are is your divine name. And you got 101 divine names you call yourself. And so this is just the 75th name of yourself. Your 75th name, which is all fitra, all Musa, aware. This is what you are. Your deepest nature, your deepest instinct, and your deepest purpose. This is who you are. Your deepest nature. Not what you told on the outside by people. No, what's inside of you. What comes from the innermost of within is called the deepest nature. That action from that deepest nature is called instinct. Instinct. You don't need to think for instinct. You divine by instinct. Not by thinking. Even though that's a gift too now. You should instinctively know. And that instinctness is what brings purpose. The oneness from our birth is what we want to get to. The oneness from our birth. This is our deepest nature. Listen to this right here now. Our deepest nature was birthed out. When you were born, you wasn't born in sin. You was born in oneness. Uh-oh. So if you was born in oneness, is there any need for seeking? Now, if you born in sin, meaning you born separated, thinking you separated from God. Now there's something called seeking salvation. This is why we have certain words. You have to listen to the frequency. We're talking your deepest nature. His lamb is ourself. Ourself was replaced by I am. Before Abraham was, it would say I am. But before Abraham was, I self am. I self. This is what it means you descend from Abraham. See, this for our peoples. This is why you come from the descendant of Abraham. Am. His lamb. There is no need for salvation when you have salam. Salam. See, you don't get it if you say it in other frequencies like Islam. This was done by the perpetrators. Just like if you study music, these perpetrators, let's say I'm playing the piano on A, and the A is set for 432 naturally by nature.
Yeah.
The perpetrator come in and change my A to 449.
That's right.
That's what he did with the language. He gave you a different frequency. So you don't say am, you say And this took a reverse from top down to bottom up. Anytime you go from a bottom up, like I did, you got to go step by step, degree by degree, from the last up to the first, step by step. But the true way is top down. Oneness from birth. So this is why we come to the all understanding. All are Allah. All was Allah. And all is. And this was our nature by birth. So from this oneness means we are not separated. No one is separated. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to learn. There's no enlightenment to be seeking outside of self. This is what society is built on, outside of self. So what you have to do is reverse engineer yourself when you go in society. You got to know that society is to drain you like a tick. Pull money from you. Since it can't pull your blood, it pull your money from you.
They try to get blood.
They done got all my blood.
Hey, yeah, these perpetrators, these enemies, when you don't know this, this is what the offense is. It's like just something always been taken away. They won't never tell you what it is. They'll just keep tapping you, hitting another spot on your arm.
Yeah.
Hopefully you bring your arm and keep bringing your arm. And we'll keep maybe giving you a crumb. Sometimes not even a crumb. When you was a child in school, they just gave you a piece of candy. Then you said your blood, if we was to pull it up, the only thing made blood and flesh work is water. So when it comes to water, water is nothing. Water takes on 3 states: steam, liquid, ice. But ice, water, steam is still water. So you have spirit, mind, body. These are 3 states of yourself. So just like steam, liquid, ice is water, spirit, mind, body itself. These are 3 planes that you can exist in. The greatest of these is not sleep, dream, and awake. That's the lower realm. Sleep is how you get to the higher realm. This world, this is why it says be in the world, but not of the world. You're supposed to treat the awake and the dream like it's asleep, and you the one awake. This is how you get power over the dream and power over the awake. These are planes of your dominion, not for you to be subjected to. You come here. What's in this world when you come here is for you. But the knowledge of self was forgotten. So most people here forgot too. They have to be remembered. Everybody here has to be remembered that they are Allah. This is the point of being waking up here. The next says the remembrance of what we are. This oneness from our birth, not from our mind, that is just some imaginary thing we thinking. No, we're talking from birth, which is a physical, actual thing. I see y'all see me. That means y'all were birthed. And that means y'all came from Allah. And is Allah and is going to return to Allah. Now, Allah is before sleep, remember? So we got to talk about, this is what we get into, the remembrance of what we are. Allah. And what life is. This is what we come in, called existence. Self is not coming into existence. Self is the creator of your own existence. This is why it's so important that all of your life that you remember what we all are. And what existence is. There's supposed to be no dualism in existence. No war in existence. You don't see nature war. All you see is beings in nature. Forgetting about nature, only thinking of the flesh. And so at times now, these people that's in our existence right now, they have completely forgot who they are. They have completely forgot what existence is. They done believe their own doctrine to the point now, this is where most black people are. Now we can bring this part in. And this could become the sad part. That the perpetrators who created these societies without this functional knowledge of who you are, their aim and their purpose is to have you believe that there is no God. Because for them, there is no God. And you could be helping them with their idea that there's no such thing as God. It's the people, it's us that's going to show you that God exists. But all the people won't know they God until they understand you are Allah. So every child is born with a mentality towards the way. See, this is the only way. We're talking about non-dualism. You have, this is one of the greatest powers I want to point to us, within us, that they abuse. These institutions who is not teaching the knowledge of self or the remembrance of who you are, is using names who use knowledge of self, and then they put their institution behind this name and corrupt the teachings. And this is what you know as Jesus without the Christ. Jesus is a supreme power within you. They illustrate it in the character of the biblical Jesus. The reason why he can do miracles is because he knows who he is. He knows he's not of this world, but he's in the world. This may now make sense. He had knowledge of self, not knowledge of the spirit, mind, and body, how things are created. But as a created being, he had knowledge of him being his own creator. And that the same power these authorities had is the same power every individual being has. And the priest was keeping them out and not giving them the keys and hindering the people from paradise. While the people who at war now been enjoying paradise, and look what they done. Because they didn't use it for all. They want to use it for a few. The reason all is in all laws because All is Allah, not a few, not just one individual. The entire universe and its diversity is Allah. So let's get back to this power within you called Jesus. G to the ease. That jizzle, known as Jesus, as they talk to you about you. You have this power. It is called the creation of existence from nothing. This is the only thing Allah needs. This is the only thing you yourself needs. I know this sounds strange, but all you need is nothing. See, your greatest is not when you start with something or start with everything. When you learn that you are the creator and the creator creates from nothing, this is all that you need. This is the power they use on money. And this is why they put God on money. Not that God is money, is that money comes from nothing. And they are using it to reap the harvest. Instead of sharing the knowledge as I am, they are charging you. They are giving fees, dues, bills, monthly, yearly, annually, every time. Taxes. All this comes from understanding knowledge of self. And the knowledge of self is to understand no thing. This whole time, since you thought you was born in sin, you thought you was the flesh. The flesh is the outer parts. The mind is the inner parts. Neither are the self. So they can slice a sword right through you as they try, but you won't die. You're not the body. And a mind cannot die, as you've seen what a mind is. You can't kill liquid. Liquid dry up into the spirit. So when we are talking about creation, this is talking about an idea. This is how you created yourself into flesh. This is why you can look around in some type of body you in. You knew how to create. But now on this side, they tell you, you need money to make money. You tell them, nigga, you needed nothing to make your flesh. How you need money to make money? Because money can't make flesh.
Oh.
So the creation, this is what's been hidden from us, of who you are and remembering who you are. So this is why they gave you the character Jesus. When this is the power of one of your, this is the 49th power of who you are. This ain't even the first power. This is the 49 that you can create anything out of nothing. You can be broke this moment and be rich the next moment. Remember, there's no separation. You are not separated from yourself. Yourself is in the Lamb, in the Al Sufian, just waiting for you to hit the frequencies. What it said, God spoke, God said. This is what you got to learn about you. You don't manifest from money. Your power is nothing. This is why you can't see the breath, because it comes from nothing. This is why you can't see the words coming out of my mouth, because they come from nothing. This is the beauty of bliss. See, if you could just get comfortable now in nothing, as you are comfortable, as you have grown step by step to be comfortable in something. This is where the perpetrator wants you. He wants you comfortable in something. See, I was saying we got it out of nothing. We come from nothing. This ain't just no saying. This is literal. We come from nothing. So everything to us is a thought, to black people. But to others, it's a survival mechanism. Something is a survival mechanism. See, this is how we was advanced, where we left all this advanced knowledge. We left this advanced knowledge because not because we was in the spirit, mind, and the body. We had raised above these levels to a point we attained nothing. This is how we was able to civilize the rest of the world. Or so we would have been still on our land being fat. But we took that agriculture and mastered it to the point where we didn't even have to eat food. When we mastered not eating and we did agriculture, this is where we took it across the world. Because we mastered this realm. So that's why remnants of your culture, ancestral culture of breatharian, is returning. Because this is who they were when they wrote all this stuff down. They was all Sufian, which means they mastered the breath, the spirit, they mastered the mind, ideas, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and they mastered the flesh. They did not only architect how to build themselves, they architected architectures that still stand to this day. This is who our ancestors are on the American soil, the masters and conquerors of self. We didn't go around conquering the world like the buffoons are today. We conquered self. This is how we became masters of everything. As they say, a master of nothing and a jack of all trades. See, we was a jack of all trades, but our favorite mastery is nothing. This is where you're able to think freely, be freely, rest, be eternal, because the opposite of nothing is something. So you hear a familiar saying, it's always something. See, because they don't know about nothing. Nothing is the primordial existence of all flesh, minds, and spirit. This is why flesh turns back to nothing. All around you is what is called life. No matter where you go, wake up on this plane, you wake up on the dream plane, all around you, that is called life. That's not eternity yet now. Eternity is beyond these three realms. It's behind the door of sleep. This is why you hear sleep is a brother of death.
Yeah.
A friend that unite friend with friend. All the law is life and death. See, that's what they didn't want to tell you. You are life and you are death. The power of your will determines what place you go. All these are places, as you see. So just to make it clear for you of how you created this whole universe out of nothing. So you not only created yourself, you created everything in this universe that you see of nature. You created the heavens, you created the moon, put in the heavens, created the sun, put in the heavens. You created the world beneath the heavens. You made an entire universe for yourself to come into and be born. This is amazing and magnificent.
Magnificent.
That all can enjoy.
Oh.
So we ain't gonna let a few little apples destroy the whole field.
No.
We ain't gonna tear up the whole field because of a few little apples. The creation, let's get back to the no thing. The creation of existence from nothing. There's a difference between no thing and nothing. See, you are no thing. And the material of no thing is nothing. So nothing can harm you. This is why you hear about no weapon shall prosper over you. Because you nothing. A weapon is something. You tell a weapon to destroy nothing, and it go right through it to something. So when you die, you want to die as nothing. Meaning your mind needs to return back to purity, to nothing, where you don't have these ideas, thoughts. These are all incompletions. Self is already complete, whole, eternal, and undivisible. See, yourself is still whole while you using the spirit, mind, and flesh. The self is still whole, observing it all, but not touched by a thought, not touched by an idea, not touched by a word, not touched by an action. All those are touched in life. Self has joined life, but life is not self. Life lives on its own without self even being here. Sun gonna rise if you're not here tomorrow. And this is the reason. The creation of rules. You created the rules to this universe. The form of this universe is all yours. Everything is Allah. Everything you can see. Everything you can respect. Everything you can sense. Now, this is how powerful you are. Not only do you create your own rules, not only did you create your own universe, the body, as Allah, you are walking land, air, water, fire, sun, ether. Can't no land walk, but you made a universe that can walk. Walk in Allah. This is what it means to walk in spirit. They took the spirit off of Allah. So you think it's just spirit, but it was spirit of Allah. Because all this belongs to you. You can figure this out for yourself. You created the separation of your own mind. This is what seeking was doing. You created the separation in your own mind and started seeking for something you separated as. But we didn't know we was doing this. And the separation was coming from the mind. Everything is connected. The only place separation can happen imaginarily is in the mind. And that's what these perpetrators have did, is fill our minds up with imaginations. And all imaginations are imaginary. They're not real. So not only did you separate the mind from the self, remember, spirit, mind, body, not only did you separate the mind from the self, you separated the dream. Come on now. The dream separated, the mind separated. And self can go in both of these. Not only that, self can also go into his other creations. The creation of all the heavens. And the creation of all the worlds. See, we're in a world right now. But if you was to lay down, rest, you'll find yourself in what is called heaven. See, you could be exploring, thinking about things on a higher level. And then you can actually go to the place. Just like when you in the world, you can go to a place. But this is the powers that kept being hidden. See, you wouldn't be in life just trying to live, thinking that this life is the only life. You got worlds, you got heavens, you got mind, you got dreams. And it's people there too. When you go to dream, ain't people there?
Yep.
So we talking about we talking about Allah is everywhere.
You remember that dream I told you about that I seen them all?
Oh, yep.
Back up what you
This
said.
is the gift of us remembering who we are. I mean, when we slow it down to this microsecond, this is how we can see the beauty.
Yeah.
When we done jumped in the passenger seat or the driver's seat of thought moved too fast to see all this beauty.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how you created yourself is how all creatures are created. Just like you can think,
Mm-hmm.
all creatures think.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think a tree don't think.
Mm-hmm.
A tree is a creature. All creatures are Allah. This is the greatest ability of men and women. See, if the animals, boy, had this capacity to speak how you speak, boy, they would be telling you something. Don't think they can't think. Thinking and speaking is two different.
That's right.
He just don't think like you because he's not a human sperm cell. Just remember this. The reason why you men and women is because of the human sperm cell. The reason why they a dog, cat, parrot, or tree is because of a sperm cell.
Well,
So when you hear the higher self is the human spirit, that's the human sperm cell.
huh.
Clothed with soul,
Mm-hmm.
that's you clothing yourself with mind.
Mm-hmm.
Made in the form of Allah.
Mm.
Arm, leg, arm, head. His lamb. This is very important that we get ready to end on these beautiful notes. To really contemplate on yourself and now knowing you're going to have to understand through being. You're going to have to be what you believe. It's the gift of why you exist, to be what you believe. And so we done made it to the beginning of no thing. In between, this is very important. In between no thing and nothing is none. There's no other deity but Allah. This is the ultimate gift we have been bestowed. is to be ourselves, which is all law. No thing. No thing is the opposite of no thought. How you know you close to home is that you can think nothing. When you can get your mind to start thinking nothing. Right now it's on the gear where it thinks something. Work on every moment to get it to think nothing. I'm talking about thinking it, not thinking. No, use thinking and think nothing. This is the purest thought. And it's endless. This right here has no end to it. Like something has an end to it, you finally bring it to an end, you will find nothing has no ending, just the beginning. And this is where everything was separated out from. That's why everything has its own uniqueness, because it comes from nothing. That was our ancestors' word for the word nothing is Allah. Out of darkness came the light. Out of nothing came something. The Spirit of God hovered over the waters.
Beautiful.
See, nothing is above all things. It just hovers like space, just hovers above. And that is your example of you can achieve nothing. It's space itself. Space is your image of yourself as no thing. And this is what it means as the opening. We are to become open as space. So nothing is what gives men and women the ability to think. Think about it. If you just born a thought, you couldn't think nothing different. You will be only be able to think of your nature.
That's it.
It's because nothing gives the ability to think. It's why you can think everything. It's why you can reason. This is why we can choose. Because we are to choose the ultimate form of health, which is nothing. The only thing that stops health is blockage. Blockage means there's no space. You done filled yourself up where there's no space for the liquid, the air to be moving and coursing through. And too much solid, too much thought.
I'm so hard.
And so the remedy is to start thinking nothing. Doing no thing, thinking no thing, manifesting no thing, learning no thing, speaking no thing, living in no thing, and attaining no thing. This is very active. And the greater you get at it, is the greater you will feel and be in the whole existence of your life, where you will come to the real self realization that all seeking has ended. All the seeking was for us to understand nothing. As-salam, as-salam, Islam. All Sufian in the name of Allah.